Hi everyone, it's Ryan here from smartsportstrader.com, and in today's video I want to talk a bit about sports betting arbitrage in 2020 and whether or not it's still worth doing. I'll talk about my approach and a few things that I do to try and keep under the radar a little bit and keep my accounts open as long as possible. Okay, so what is sports betting arbitrage? The simplest way of looking at sports betting arbitrage is that you're covering every outcome of a sporting event to guarantee yourself a profit. So I'm going to look at a theoretical example here. This is in an MMA fight. And let's say Conor McGregor was going to fight Tony Ferguson. And the good thing about MMA and arbing on MMA fights is that most bookmakers only offer two outcomes. So you've got a win on fighter one and a win on fighter two. And then if it's a draw, it'll be a void bet with the majority of bookmakers. So this is just a really simple way of looking at an example of an arbitrage bet. Okay, so let's take a look at our arbitrage bet example. And in this example, let's say you could back Conor McGregor at odds of 2.02, and you could also back Tony Ferguson at odds of 2.02. Then if either fighter wins, we're guaranteed to win 1% of whatever our stake would be. So let's say, for example, we put 100 on Conor and we also put 100 on Tony. If Conor wins, we're going to win £102 and we're going to lose £100 on Ferguson for a total profit of £2. And then you get exactly the same outcome if Tony Ferguson was to win. So obviously, if you could stake £100, your profit would be £1. If you could get 500 across both outcomes, so 250 on each fighter, you'd be able to make £5. If you're able to get 1,000, 500 on each, you'd be able to make a profit of £10. So this is just a really simple arbitrage betting example. But there's multiple arbitrage bets available every single day. So what are the drawbacks of arbitrage betting? I remember when I found out about arbitrage betting, it was a long time ago now, it was probably about 2011, 2012. I thought, wow, I found this way to make money. It's relatively easy. I'm just going to be able to hammer this. I'll be a very rich man and I'll live a very easy life. But what I didn't realize when I first found out about arbitrage betting is that bookmakers don't like you doing it at all. So bookmakers will limit your bet sizes, which means they might only let you stake maybe like £10 on a selection or £100 on a selection. So when you are making arbitrage bets, your profit's going to be a lot lower. And some bookmakers will even close your account when you're doing arbitrage betting. However, if you intend to make money from the sports betting markets in general, then bookmakers are going to limit your account eventually anyway. That's the ultimate end game. Is if you're costing them money, then you're gonna lose that privilege. So personally, I think it's still worth doing arbitrage betting in 2020. I still use it, and I just wanted to go through a few things that you can do to extend the life of your bookmaker accounts when you are doing sports arbitrage, and also look at weighing up the value of each account, as not all bookmakers offer the same opportunities, and sometimes there's more value in doing something at one bookmaker than there is at another. So first off, when you're opening a new account, I like to prime my accounts. So when I talk about priming an account, I mean the accounts come under the most scrutiny when they're new. So when you open an account, they've got the bookmaker will have a risk management team that will kind of look to assign that account to a category to say if you're a sharp sports bettor, or they'll know if you're an arbitrage bettor, or they might think you're a square kind of mug punter who's going to make them a lot of money. So that's kind of the way I want to go when I open a new account. Is I want to kind of bet accumulators and bet in the bigger leagues and just appear that I'm going to be a losing player overall. So I might do that for 1 or 2 months and try and just give the impression that I'm not going to be taking money off them in the long run. And then the second point to make is that I avoid obscure leagues. So when I am doing arbitrage betting, I try and stick to the bigger events. So Premier League football, Champions League, horse racing. I mean, you'll probably find more arbitrage bets on obscure leagues. But if you kind of want to stay under the radar a bit more, then you want to be doing it on the bigger events, so NFL, NBA. And also to try and mix up your markets a little bit so that you don't give them a pattern. So, for example, if you were just always hammering horse racing arbitrage bets on a Bet365 account, then that's probably going to be seen pretty quickly and they're probably going to limit you. But if you're able to kind of mix up your bets a little bit, so you might be betting on cricket one day, then you might find some arbitrage bets on horses another, you can kind of just try and mix it up and make yourself just try and stop there being an easy pattern basically to follow. And then the next point is that you've got to weigh up the value of your betting accounts. So like I said earlier, different bookmakers offer different opportunities. So with a Bet365 account, they're very valuable for bonuses. They've got the 2-up offer, which is really good. Quite frequently they'll throw out the £50 in play offer, which is worth like £35 for every time you get that. So that's really good. And they also have good horse racing offers on a Saturday. So with a Bet365 account, I wouldn't really use them for arbitrage until I'm limited. That's the way that I look at them. But then, for example, recently I used my Leo Vegas account for arbitrage because I was getting no bonuses from them at all, and I wasn't using them for any other purposes. So over a weekend, I just hammered them for arbitrage, mainly on horses, and I even think I got a best odds guaranteed bonus on one of the horses. And I made about £270 over the weekend, but by the Monday, I was limited. But that was an account that I was making no money from at all. So it was just, for me, it was worth just hammering it with arbitrage for that weekend and making some money out of it and getting, it's better to get that value than no value. Okay, so ultimately, I think that sports arbitrage betting in 2020 is still a very viable way to make money. And with the main drawback being that people are kind of afraid of getting accounts closed, you can still just look at doing it with limited accounts or accounts that you never use. So a lot of people will sign up to get a sign-up bonus with an account, and then they won't touch it for years, which is, like, for example, the Leo Vegas account that I talked about. I'd not used that for like a year, but there was still a lot of value left in it just through arbitrage. And then the third one is shop arbitrage. In England, we have like William Hill, Ladbrokes, and Betfred, and these shops do still offer some arbitrage opportunities from time to time, so that's just another thing to consider. And lastly, if you're interested in arbitrage betting, I've written the ultimate guide to sports arbitrage on my website, smartsportstrader.com, where I cover more advanced topics such as doing middle bets, which is bets which enable you to win both sides if a certain scenario happens. So that's worth looking at, and there's plenty more. It's really in depth, and I'll add a link in the description below. So thank you for watching this. Hopefully you enjoyed it, possibly learned something that might help you make some money through sports arbitrage betting. And if you're interested in making money from the sports betting markets, please like this video and subscribe to the channel.